Welcome back to another Top Talks. I'm here with Mr. Randy again.
What's up,
Rahel, yes, he's not here.
Right.
He'll be here maybe.
His spirit is here.
Yeah, he's on a date.
He's out there.
But today we're just gonna have to talk. We're gonna be talking about because we haven't talked about the military's atmosphere right now.
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now that with all these changes,
Right.
DEI and all the stuff,
Yeah.
I'd like to pick your brain because I know you work in there, and I do
Right.
have some background on what's going on in the recruiting world,
Right.
and then we'll dig into that. But,
Okay.
So with that, stand by. All right, welcome back. So, as you know, actually, go ahead and tell our audience where do you actually work.
Oh well, first of all, for those who doesn't know, I'm a retired soldier,
Yes,
just like Mario, and just like King.
Yeah.
And I decided that I go back and give back to the military.
Yeah.
So I'm working again in a JBLM to be exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here in Fort Lewis, Washington. Oh, it used to be Fort Lewis.
It used to be for joint base.
Joint
Lewis
base
McCoy.
now, right? Yeah. That's right.
So actually, before we go into that, why did you have the urge to give back?
Give back because I was one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think be able to work for the military, it allows me to basically take care of those who are left behind me.
Yeah.
Because I know how it is to be a soldier, and how the stuff that they need. Me providing my service to them is just a simple gesture of saying thank you for your service.
Yeah. Giving back.
Giving back, basically just saying thank you. Hey, we appreciate you, and I'm here. Besides it being a work,
Right.
it's also giving back to them and taking care of them to make sure that they are well taken care of to fight for our freedom.
Good.
Basically, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
I approve.
That was pretty. That was pretty serious.
Yeah, I approve. When I joined, right?
Yeah.
There's so much questions I had when I joined the military. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some folks listening to us that may have somebody that they know that like to join the military or whatnot. But I know for a fact that the Army, when I joined, is different now, right? So from your perspective, based on what you see on the ground,
Right.
how much of a difference is it? Is there, you put yourself in, I joined in as a private E1.
Right.
So what do
Me
you
too.
think are the changes now that you see, especially with all these updates with the DEI and all the stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I guess the question would be like, what would you expect joining in the military now as a young soldier?
What I expect?
Yeah.
So if I join now,
Yeah.
that's a very good question. Because first of all, when I joined the military or the Army,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect neither.
Exactly.
Right. But now that we have social media, and I think it's easier to find out.
That's a good point.
It's easier to find out
Yeah.
now. Like, hey, what am I expecting, right? So I think for now, I think it would be easier, honestly.
Easier in what sense?
In this term, right? So when we went through, I'm sure we joined the Army probably the same era, right?
Right.
As far as this is what I think is easier, and it's my opinion, right? As far as psychologically, let's start with that, mentally, right?
Okay.
The mental breakdown of getting yelled at and being called names and being degraded,
Right.
and those were meant to happen in our day to basically train us mentally
Right.
and how to overcome it and Because when you go to war, you could be possibly
Oh yeah.
become a prisoner.
I mean, we've been through
right.
war.
You could become a prisoner, and they do, and all of those, your drill sergeants just grilling you, whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All of those hardship mentally and physically that we went through in basic training was tough.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Especially if you didn't know what you're getting into. Because I didn't know what I was getting into. But now what I meant is, as far as easier, I don't think those are happening anymore.
Okay.
You know
But
what I mean?
is that-
I'm starting off with that, just
Yeah.
coming in, like
You
fresh.
mean like yelling,
Mentally and physically, I don't think.
degrading, and calling you names and all.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can call.
Not so smart. Hey, come here. Not so smart.
As far as I know, when I was active duty, you can't even call people Joe Snuffy or or whatever
Or
or
hero.
any names.
Come here, hero.
Yes. So as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta call them like warriors or soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, which is again is this to me, in my opinion, because I grew up, in the older era. That would be easier for me.
Oh yeah.
As far as mentally, because you're not being the problem with that I see is it's not mentally challenging.
Yeah.
So when you go to war and become a prisoner, how are you expect a soldier to be mentally tough
Right.
when he didn't even experience that in training? That's my opinion. That's what I think. That's what I meant by easier.
I think you have a point there, because like a typical civilian,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing they know about the military, because the same thing with me.
Right.
When I first joined is like what they portray in the movies, like
Oh yeah.
Forrest Gump or Full Metal Jacket,
Whatever they see, right?
Yeah. So I expected that I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna call
Yeah.
names.
Yes. You might get beat up.
You can suck a ball,
Yeah.
golf ball through a garden hose, all
That's
that
right.
stuff, right?
Yes.
And did that happen? Like, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
But now it's
Yes, you
not
can.
the case.
No, I believe, again, I didn't go through it. I mean, I was in trade at one point, and you are almost walking in eggshells, basically.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Yeah, because when I was a drill sergeant, I mean that's why I have this.
Right.
I was
if
a
you
drill
don't know what that
sergeant.
is,
Yeah, so
he
this-
was not a sheriff.
No, I'm not a sheriff. It's a drill sergeant hat.
He was the bear guy. He was the Smokey.
Yeah, at that.
Yeah.
And you have a point, right?
Yeah.
We were not told,
Yeah.
but we were kind of implied to be tough on the soldiers.
That's right.
Because that's what they expect, right? Like Full Metal Jacket, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there is a purpose of what we're doing, like what you said, right?
Yeah.
To get them mentally tough, because there's phases, like you have red face, blue face, white face.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have faces. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
those faces. So you get really really direct with them. On red face, blue face, they get a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
White face, they get treated more, as a soldier, and then red and white, blue face.
Right.
And
then they were
graduate.
able to go to PX, right? At the last phase.
The
or something?
last phase, they get well.
To get a privilege.
Like one weekend.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
You can go to the PX, and then every Wednesday you can go to the shopette,
Right.
to buy some.
But you
some stuff.
basically earned it.
Oh yeah. You earn it.
But after getting all of the crazy stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
which I believe doesn't happen anymore. Right?
So do you
Joining
think?
in, yeah.
Do you think the army, made the decision, and is better for our troops?
So the idea was great because we're in the era now where question is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know how in our era is like you just do.
Yeah.
You just did it. You just you didn't ask why.
Right.
You just did it, right? Which worked for us.
Yeah.
Which I think that was the idea of the change. The change now is like it's okay to question
Right.
before you do anything. Am I making sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because
It's making the soldier think more.
Think more and becoming more independent, becoming a leader. So I kind of get the idea. The problem with that is you don't I guess in the training environment in here it might work, but when you don't, but if they don't understand the point of train as you fight,
Right.
right? Because when you in combat, you don't have time to ask questions.
Oh,
you
no.
just execute.
Right.
You,
That millisecond of delay may
but
cost
I
your
think
life.
that was their point.
Yeah.
Their point is it's in garrison environment. That's why they made it so more lenient.
Yeah.
Now you the problem with younger soldiers, they're taking advantage of that power.
So that's not actually my next question now is
Yes.
like before, right? Because of how we grew up,
Right.
We really nip that stuff in the bud,
Right.
Right, when a soldier is trying to take advantage of a nice, a very weak. I want to say weak NCO, but
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice NCO
Right.
taking advantage of them,
Catering
to the
soldiers,
soldier.
yeah.
So, do you see that now?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like even now, because most of the time when I interact with soldiers, especially seniors,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I'm more comfortable talking to seniors because they're mature. We got
Right,
We kind of, especially the one that I know that almost in the same era as we are and is
Yeah.
still in active duty.
Yeah.
Usually, I like talking to them because I usually joke.
Because they know what we've been
No,
through.
one, I always mess with them because like, man, dude, you sit in the army, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, homie? Like, and then most of the time when I strike a conversation, then they'll hang around. We'll start talking for like 5 minutes until my next whatever session, right? And then that's what we talk about, and that is the number one concern and feedback that I get from senior NCOs. Never fail. Like
Right.
they always say, man,
Soldiers are playing the system.
I'm dropping packets, or I just drop packets. You know for what reason? Because the soldiers, man. They said
Wow.
they're almost. I had one NCO. He was in one of the special unit here. This is a special unit, right? He wasn't the high speed special unit, but he was one of the special unit.
Okay.
And he's saying their hands are tied. Like they
Oh,
can't
wow.
they can't do anything. This is like I'm talking about a high ranking leader. You know what I
So
mean?
when you mean like their hands are tied, what's keeping them tied?
So there's certain things. So I asked the same question too, because if you're dude, as long as you're in regulation,
Yeah.
then you should be good. That's what I told him, right? Like, I get it, but if you have leaders, other leaders, that's because they play the mom and pops,
Yeah, mom pops.
right? So now they got and whatever soldier said apparently, right, goes.
Oh wow.
So it's like basically your word against mine, right?
Oh wow.
So even if you're in regulation, and if you got soldiers saying something, most of the time, whatever they say flies.
So it's
Now
tougher.
that's what I was told anyway.
Yeah, so it's tougher to be.
it's tough. Even if you're in
a
regulation,
leader right now.
yeah. Even if you're staying in your lane, and if I'm a soldier, but I know for a fact I can get away with whatever I'm saying,
Yeah.
regardless if you're in line with the regulation,
Right.
and it might even if that NCO still wins the battle, is by the stress that's bringing to that unnecessary situation.
Yeah.
because it's not necessary most of the time.
So
Because usually you have those, because you know how stressful it is to be a senior leader.
Oh, yeah.
To begin with, right?
Yeah.
And then now you have all of these nonsense soldiers that's trying to make something small big, but you have all these other things that they're going on in your head.
right.
But and then you have those certain individuals that's trying to make something small bigger than what it is. You know what I mean?
So they can get
And then
their
you get-
way.
because, yes.
they can get their way.
You get fed up, man. So no, they want to retire.
I'm gonna show you a video here.
Okay.
Hold on, bear with me for a bit, and I want to know your thoughts about this soldier. And let me know what you think.
Right.
Clear message to NCOs and officers. Where on my chest does it say you get to use very terrible, unprofessional language, disrespect? I'm a 40-year-old specialist. That does not give anybody, none of you young guys, none of you guys who outrank me, the right to disrespect me by using inappropriate language, offensive language, profanity, just to get your point across. Disrespect will not be tolerated. I do not care what rank you have on your chest. Just understand there's a man specifically from New York who doesn't take disrespect lightly. Disrespect will not be tolerated. Be professional when you want to get a message across, okay? And use professional language. All that cursing is not going to work with me. And that's going across the military. Big armies. Clear message to NCOs and officers.
Okay.
Where on my check?
So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
So there's a lot on that. That small message that he's talking about. Again, that's the difference between old school and new school. And there's
Yeah.
pros and cons. And that's one of the difference that I was telling you that changed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the new army, they want you to be more professional, as he said.
Right.
Without using any profanity and all of that. So there's a lot of pros and cons on doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is with me, my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Because I was guilty. I was using a lot of F-bombs everywhere when I used to get mad because of something that happened that's probably not good,
Right.
right?
Like
Well, let me address that from I say welcome to the military to begin with. Welcome to the army, especially in the army.
Yeah.
Right. If you grew up in the army, especially in my age, because I get what he's saying, but I'm gonna tell you first my personal opinion, what I think. Okay, cussing, that was the language for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we don't when someone, first of all, you probably did something bad to begin with.
probably.
Okay, the only way you're gonna get cussed at and be disrespected, like you said, to make you even post it on TikTok to begin with. You know, first of all, you're wearing your uniform on social media, so you're representing. You're not even supposed to represent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now with the new rules.
No, with whatever the rules is
Right.
now. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with the regulations, but yeah, he shouldn't have done that in uniform to begin with, right?
Right.
That's my opinion on that. Second, if you were that mad for someone, you go out on a TikTok to rant on something because you probably got cussed at. Sounds like he did, right?
It sounds like to me that
Someone got mad at him
Someone
and they
got
were
mad at
using
him.
some profanities
Right,
and some
right.
foul languages.
and he mentioned officers, so it's probably some officers.
Or someone that outrank him. To begin, first of all, if they outrank you, right? And they were yelling at you in that manner, yeah, you did something bad. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nobody is just gonna, yell at you
Yeah.
with foul languages without you doing something pretty bad
Right.
to begin with, right?
Or something that
something that
You
got them that
initiated.
far.
Yeah.
Something that you know what I mean. Because not all leaders, as far as I know, right? Most leaders that I know, including myself, because I was once a leader myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just go out there and start cussing at people if it's really nothing that bad.
right. If they don't need to be yelled
Yeah,
at
yeah.
and cursed, why?
Yeah, it's my number one pet peeve back in the day is safety, right? If it's safety, or you might get
Oh, yeah.
you
You're
might
gonna
get
get-
cussed at.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you are involving safety on your action, you're about to endanger someone or whatever it is, right?
Or you're missing your cam light while you're laying down on the ground at the
or
middle
you
of the
lost
night.
your weapon or something. That dude probably left his weapon in the porta john or something. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Yes.
His weapon is probably left somewhere and someone found it, gave it to his NCO, and now he's getting cussed at. And now he's butthurt because he's getting cussed at.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
now he has to
Again,
post
your
TikTok.
question earlier, again, mentally, in our era, again, this is my opinion, okay? Because again, the new army is different, and he's right. Profanity and all of that, I heard, is not really
You don't
a
have
way
yeah.
anymore. It's not.
Well,
It's not necessary. I get it, and
Yeah.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, when I grew up the ranks,
Right.
you don't have to curse and yell.
You shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have.
Well,
to. But there is
yes.
times.
There's
that
time you have to. Right.
There are times that, like I had an NCO that senior NCO,
Right.
didn't show up to work for 2 years.
Right.
And then
Damn, 2 years.
showed up to. I told him to to go to my office
Yeah.
at a certain time and
Yeah.
reek of alcohol.
Right.
That's the time that you lose your shit.
Yeah, I know
You
for
know,
sure.
Like
In heartbeat.
you're a
right?
senior NCO. You're
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I know. But you know, it's funny that you said that because me, when I grew up in ranks, I actually got more calm. as far as my yelling actually kind of diminished.
Yeah.
A little bit. I realized this, especially when I started becoming a senior NCO, especially when I was a first sergeant. When I was a first sergeant, I was in a yeller. This is why. And I told somebody this. I do not. Someone also said this. Some senior NCO. I think that's why I developed that tactic, not tactic, but style.
Style. Yeah.
I don't have to yell at a soldier to let them know that I'm a first sergeant.
Right. You don't even have to tell them that you're a first sergeant. It just
no. When I tell soldier, hey, in fact, I usually ask them, but I'm not really asking. But my tone is asking. Like if you're like Joe Snuffy, like, hey, specialist, can you do this? I'm really not asking.
Yeah.
They already know that I'm not asking.
Yeah. You're telling.
I'm asking, but I'm a first sergeant, so they know I'm not asking. But that was me, you know what I mean? So I didn't have to yell. So he's right. Because I agree in a certain degree, but for him to be that mad about something,
that means that the perpetrator was really digging into him.
Well, this is us with experience in the military. You are not gonna get yelled at that bad if you didn't do something like that bad.
Right. It's like if we're just having a conversation and you know, and let's just say you came in late to formation for like 3 minutes late. I'm not gonna yell at you.
No, it's not gonna come to where a soldier is gonna go to TikTok and you know what I mean. No, it's not. Trust me, trust us on this because
because the first thing comes into my mind like what made the soldier do what he did. Right. There might be circumstances that the soldier had to face in order, for example, to be late, to do something stupid. Right. So you try to investigate what's going on. So the point of yelling is not there. No. Until it's a blatant, deliberate, stupid action. Yes. Right, leaving your weapon
in the porta-john. Like how you leave it in there. That we're saying that because that actually happens.
That happened. Actually, when I was in Korea, somebody left their weapon somewhere and it ended up in the dumpster.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's definitely you getting cussed at for sure.
We could not go back to battalion because we were out in KTC. And it's like 12 kilometers or 5 kilometers from
that's hand across
so
the
we
desert.
Hand across the freaking KTC, man. Looking for this daggone M16 and it's in the dumpster.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, if you're a specialist, when that happened, it probably won't just be you getting yelled at. Because if you get yelled at for something, let's say, I don't know what that soldier did because I'm pretty sure he did something to get cussed at, right? He just didn't say it, obviously. But let's say he lost his weapon. I'm just saying. Right. For example, his leaders probably got yelled at too. Oh yeah. They probably got cussed at by someone higher than
probably
them.
Even worse.
And we call that shit rolls downhill. He just got the bottom end of it. Yep. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think if you're not in military and you're looking at that specialist ranting like that, then you might be fully on his side because you don't know But you have to understand, a soldier will not get yelled. You just won't. No. You're not gonna get yelled at just for no reason. Right. Not the way he's made it sound like. Anyway, it sound like he got really.
Probably really something really. Well, we don't know the situation.
We don't know neither. That's why.
But from experience.
Yeah,
it takes a lot for me to yell at you.
To get cussed at, like he said.
Yeah, it takes so much.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Like you gotta do something really bad.
If you attempted sexual assault to a soldier or something,
something really bad, something that requires you getting cussed at, right? And but at the same time, I also understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? First of all, I don't agree anyway what he said. Yeah, I get it. The respect, whatever. You got to respect everyone with dignity and respect. I get it, right? But we don't look at age, and that has nothing to do with age and rank, right? Right. Because your action speaks more. Right. Like if you're a 40-year-old specialist, right, and you are also disrespecting your leaders, then you probably deserve to get cast out. Yeah. That makes sense? Like, because
you're still a specialist.
It's not you're a specialist, regardless of what your age is or your rank, right? If you if you deserve to get yelled at because of your action, not because of your, I don't even, dude, as a first sergeant, I had soldiers older than me.
Yeah.
Right? But, and I'll respect them as a person.
Yeah.
Not really the age, but as a person. But if you are not respectful,
Oh man.
then you're going to get it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if you're older than me.
Yeah. You're
Right?
you're still the first sergeant.
I'm still the boss at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I don't care if you're 65 years old and I'm 35 and I'm
Right.
your boss and you fucked up. You're going to get cussed.
Yeah, and it goes both ways, right? Because
Right.
I had lieutenants.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Way
As
younger.
a E7, and you have lieutenants younger than me.
Oh, yeah, they're young. Like,
I mean, I still said give them respect.
you have to.
You know,
'Cause
and they're
you gotta
younger than
respect. You gotta respect the rank. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, Yeah.
That's just the nature of the military.
it's the military. If you can't, this. I know that kind of fired me up because you know what I mean. It's like I don't know. Again, I don't know the full story.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But here's my advice.
Yeah.
To that individual.
Right.
You want to change something?
yeah,
Get promoted.
get promoted.
Be
yeah.
that person in that rank that you so despise, and don't treat your soldiers like that.
Right. And another thing, don't go on TikTok, man. I mean,
Man.
dude, that's like, first of all, that's not leader like. You know, leaders take care of business behind closed doors, right? That's what true leader is. Now you're presenting an act that's not leader like. Now, if you're saying that you're old enough to be respected, then be old enough to handle business with it. First of all, in the house, right?
Right.
You want to handle business in the house. You don't want to, wearing uniform and telling basically the whole world, hey, I'm the U.S. Army and this is what's happening. I think to me, I don't like the way he handled that business.
No. I mean, he's immature for a 40-year-old.
Yeah, for doing that on TikTok or whatever, social media. I think there's a time and place, right? If you're gonna do that, get out of uniform, and then be. And I don't think he was brief, because if you're gonna do social media and you want to do something that's your opinion, you cannot be in uniform, man.
No.
You shouldn't be in uniform. You cannot represent your opinion in uniform to begin with. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because it's conflict of interest.
Yeah. If you're gonna do that, then get out of uniform and then make your own opinion without yelling, "I'm in the army." Does that make sense? Like,
you don't represent the army.
yes. And my advice to you as a specialist, you should be if I'm not sure what happened to you, but if something bad happened to you to get yelled at, you should have went to IG.
Yeah, IG or
There's always resources out there that Sergeant Major, the next chain of command. There's many ways to handle that business beside yelling it out on TikTok, I think.
Open.
Yeah, we gotta handle
Open door
business.
policy.
Open door policy. That's right. There's many ways.
Yeah.
I don't think he's educated enough to in my opinion, because if you're gonna go on TikTok, you're not educated on how to handle business in the military.
So going back to the topic that we've been
Right.
discussing. So do you see soldiers nowadays that are like that?
That's exactly what they were talking about. I think that's one example, because the technologies that we have now, and the rights that they're giving all of these soldiers are the power, I guess, are in a way preventing leaders to handle their business as leaders.
I see.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
it becomes a distraction.
It's almost like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Like, if you're, yes, it is a distraction.
It becomes a distraction.
You can't really focus on becoming a leader if you're afraid of, you know what I mean, the repercussions, because
I don't think soldiers, lower enlisted soldiers, young NCOs understand how much pressure higher echelon leaders are.
I don't think they do.
Because they have to ensure the readiness of the organization
Yes.
to be prepared for war, and that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure, and as a first sergeant, you know what I mean, or even at platoon level, you're already looking at at least 30 people,
Yeah.
at least under you, right?
And every single one of them needs to be trained and green
yeah.
and ready
Yes.
to go deploy somewhere, anywhere,
Right.
at a moment's call.
Right. And a lot of the senior leaders that's been around, most of the time those platoon sergeants, they ain't got time for BS.
Yeah.
They ain't got time for nonsense. They just want to get straight to business because they really don't have time.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Now you have this individuals that's, I call it selfish,
Right. Right.
because they just,
I think that's a good word for that.
you know what I mean? Because they just looking out after themselves. They're not
Right.
thinking big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
For the betterment of the whole group.
that's right. I keep going on and on with this, especially, you got me fired up with that video, man. Like, wow. Like, damn, dude. Holy moly.
Because to be honest with you, that happened to me before. I had a soldier. I was in staff duty, and I had a soldier park his car at the no parking zone.
Okay.
So you give it a benefit of the doubt. I went outside. This car is in the no parking zone. So I give benefit of the doubt. Like, probably just went in,
Drop something.
drop something, and then I'll just tell, hey, don't forget to not park there anymore.
Yeah.
If you just park to this side, whatever the case may
Right.
be. 30 minutes passed, man.
Yeah. Still
Soldier hasn't returned yet.
Okay.
So I told my runner, like, hey, go knock on everybody's door and see if they have a car that's parked in a no parking zone, right? Because that's for fire lane. It's a
fire hazard. Yeah.
Fire hazard. So a specialist came down, or I don't know. He was a PFCO specialist.
Yeah.
So and I asked him a question. Just asking a question like, hey soldier, you do know that you can't park in a no fire zone, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you're doing business in the barracks, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and he gave me an attitude like, oh, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be, and I'm in uniform, mind you.
They can see your rank, the whole nine. Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. And I was like, this kid has lost his mind.
Yeah. I know. like who the hell?
So
who
like,
you talking to?
and that's what I thought, like, the heck you think you're talking to,
Right.
Like, blatant disrespect, like, giving me excuses and like giving me the attitude and all this
Right.
stuff, like that's not necessary.
Right.
So he gave me some disrespect, and I give disrespect back,
Right.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I'm cursing him out, but
Right.
who do you think you're talking to? Do you see what you're doing right now?
Right.
Do you think that's right? So I just gave him the business. I called the sergeant major and his platoon sergeant and all that. Got involved because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with that BS.
Yeah, with attitude. Yeah.
With the attitude, like, you know what? You're somebody's soldier. I'll
Yeah.
let them deal with you.
Deal
And
with you, yeah.
I talk to them, and
Yeah.
you know.
Let them handle it, basically.
Oh yeah. They handled it.
Yeah. Wow.
But that kind of triggered me to retire.
I know. I think because what they're getting at with that video, someone said respect age something.
Yeah.
Something age something.
So he said something about
Respect my age.
respect my
something.
age. Yeah. You're young. I don't care if you're officer. Higher
So
rank.
see, I disagree with that, right? Again, I agree with respecting people.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that out there, right? I agree. We should all respect, right?
Oh yeah.
Each other, right? But now, if you're in the military, you gotta respect the rank.
Oh yeah.
You earned that rank, right? For a reason. You know what I mean? They are wearing that rank for a reason. You're a specialist for a reason. Your NCOs are NCOs for a reason, right? And I'm pretty sure they respect you as a person. But you got to respect that rank. Whatever you did, at the end of the day, that age goes out the window.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? If you did something bad, has nothing to do with age. Has something to do with you as a specialist. Probably did not do something, and your NCO, your leaders, were not having it.
And I think I assumed that he talked back, because he's
Right.
already raving and raving
Right.
about.
And again, we're just assuming here, people.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
we're
not
not
saying that-
defending the leaders or whatever. But again, we're just letting you know, if in the military, you won't get cussed out if you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Because if
Yeah.
he did what he said on TikTok to
Yeah.
them, at the point where he's getting cursed at,
Yeah.
I'm a grown man, blah blah.
Yeah.
At the point of him
Right.
getting cursed, it's just gonna get worse.
It's gonna
he
get
probably got escalated,
Yeah.
and that's why he's
Right.
raging. Could be.
Yeah, I don't know what
That's a theory.
I don't know what your opinion on that, on with the age and respect. But again, respect and age, two different things, right?
Yeah.
We do respect everyone in the military the same way.
Yeah. And
But
I love
do-
my soldiers.
Yes, and we do have rank structure for a reason. And if you're in the military, you better respect those rank.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my advice to you.
I think we're going too long.
Yeah, I think we are, but that was a pretty good topic.
It's a good topic
Because you got me wired up.
We can we can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But the point of the discussion is the changes in the military. I think that's one change that we've seen is the generation is a little bit more lenient.
Yeah.
If you think that's the case, but I believe it's in preparation for future wars.
Yes.
Right. I think the wars that we're going to be fighting in the future is going to be different.
I think so too.
As well as how the Vietnam War was different from the Iraq and Afghanistan war. I think this war is going to be different, and it's going to need a lot more intelligent soldiers.
Oh, for sure.
I
think so too. Yeah.
But that's all I have.
Great topic.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. And again, until next time, please stay tuned to another.
Yeah. Let us know your opinion on this one. I'm sure everyone got different opinions.
Yeah. Hit up the notification button and
hit it.
Let us
and comment.
Yeah. Let us know your comments.